Hey, good morning, people. Good morning out there. This is Spirit Journey. Yes, this is another bright eyed and bushy tail talk here in Rwanda. Yeah, I'm in bed. I've been up now um, close to half an hour or more. And I was just doing some deep thinking. And yes, my little ladder is right over there. He's sleeping. He has his tongue sticking out. Yeah, it's weird. My little boy, prior to coming to Rwanda 15 months ago, no, 16 months ago, he never did that. But yeah, upon coming to Africa, he's been walking around with his tongue hanging out. Poor baby. He's sweet. Yeah, I guess he's okay. He's still on medication for his immune system. Yeah, and yeah, he'll always be my little boy. But yeah, he's just resting quietly, and yeah, I don't want to show him. He's my little baby. Yeah, but he's okay. He's right there. So anyway, yeah, we're all doing okay here, and I was just lying here in bed. I had the lights out, and you can hear the birds out there. Yeah, it's really interesting coming down here. The birds start to sing at a certain time. Yeah, so started singing maybe 15 minutes ago. So I know that it's a particular time. Yeah, yeah. So they start to chirp like 15 after 5 in the morning. And it's beautiful to hear them sing. It's really nice. So, anyhow, um, what I want to talk about today. Yeah, I was just in deep thought and had my device next to me, my phone, and I saw a title on one of the YouTube, a thumbnail for one of the videos, and it was about Mars, about going to Mars. And immediately, I'm thinking about Elon Musk. And now, my antennas are up regarding Elon Musk. Yeah, he's a real entrepreneur. Yeah, the word entrepreneur means risk taker. And yes, he is a big risk taker. Uh, I had listened to one of the videos, several videos actually, on Musk, it's like a biography on him. And I said, yeah, he earns that title. Yeah, he earns that title. Um, devise things, taking, losing a lot of money and everything, and then keep on keeping on. So yeah, he gets the reward for perseverance. So that credit I give him big time. He deserves that. But it's the other aspect of him. Um, it could be part of my own biases. Um, yes, he is a white man from South Africa, and he was like a teenager when apartheid ended. And no way I'm suggesting he's the cause of apartheid. He was born into a system. We are all born into a system. You cannot help what you're born into. Okay. But I just be honest that maybe that might be influencing me. But he moved to the US with big ideas. And I'm impressed about a lot of things that he accomplished, like PayPal. I use PayPal. I used to use it. And now he has enterprises, his SpaceX. And it's SpaceX that has me worried. Now was that last October, he came on the Trump train and is supporting Trump. And Trump, the candidacy, the election from last year, 2024. Yeah, today is Wednesday, April, April 9th, 2025. And the time now is 5:30, about 5:38 in the morning. And it is about 60 degrees Fahrenheit. And sunrise would be at 5:58 in the morning. Yay! Yeah, I actually love being outside when sunrise comes about. It's a beautiful time of the day, actually. I like that. But yeah, this week is a week of remembrance from the um, what do you call it, the genocide that happened here in Rwanda. And I was encouraged strongly, not to go out after 1 o'clock in the afternoon. So I'll probably do that. I want to be respectful. Yeah, I did go out yesterday, and yeah, I left at 2 p.m. to go out, and there were a lot of people. There were enough people out. It's a beautiful walk I had. So, anyways, I have some concerns again. Um, well, when I saw the thumbnail regarding um, life on Mars, I thought about Musk. Now, what about Musk now? Okay. Now, he said, he always wanted, he was always eager about space travel. He saw, all these movies about, the astronauts and all that, and, the movies that came out about space and all that, like Star Wars, things like that. And I was thinking, um, is there a correlation between Elon Musk, and Columbus? That's immediate. My mind just went zoom right in that word. Um, to me, space travel. I wasn't into science fiction as a child. I didn't like science fiction. But as I mentioned, when the movie The Matrix came out, I really grabbed onto it. Science fiction. Yeah. See, to me, I think it's a sneak peek into the window about what's really going on in planet Earth. So that's my interest. What's going on? I feel that there's secrets. And like I feel there's secrets about Columbus, and there's secrets about Elon. Now, I don't wish anybody harm. He's an individual, Elon Musk. He has a lot of children, he's married, and he's a man that works. So I admire movers and shakers of things to try to make life, you know, interesting and hopefully safe. But I just have like a red flag regarding Musk. And I get this my nature. Maybe I'm looking too much into things that don't exist. But I just want to share my thoughts. Now, what does Columbus and Musk have in common? Okay, for those of you who don't know Columbus, in the Americas, what we now call the Americas. Christopher Columbus um, is given the credit for amongst Europeans to come upon um, these lands, and they were later to be colonized by Europeans. And it caused a disaster for the inhabitants that were living in the Americas, and it was a disaster and a tragedy for Africans, sub-Saharan Africans, mostly from the west coast of Africa. And so I'm sensitive about that. But again, it's history, and people like Columbus, there's always been war on this planet, and it's always about the conqueror, and the conquered. It's life. So it's nothing new under the sun. Um, what is the correlation? So, excuse me. So I recently saw Elon talk about, he wears this T-shirt about going to Mars, and I'm like, why would you want to go to a place like there? Um, why not the moon? I think I was told that since Apollo 11, no one else had tried to land on the moon. I mean, there were ships, spacecrafts from America that did explore, but I don't think that they landed. I mean, again, I could be wrong, but a lot happened after Apollo 11 and the space race to the moon. So, and then when you asked NASA about it, they said, we don't have any of the records how to get to the moon. Now, the moon is the closest um, thing to the Earth. So if you're going to go to a place, you go back there, right? But no one has. And so how could you go and want to go to Mars if you haven't even mastered going to the moon? And again, you have the Van Allen belt. It's an asteroid belt and radiation. So how are you going to achieve going to Mars if you haven't even mastered to exit the Van Allen belt? Figure. It's claimed by NASA. They had these rovers that allegedly got on Mars, were able to take pictures. Now, how were they able to do that? I don't know. Because how were you able to get to the Van Allen belt? But yet you can't get to the moon because you don't know how. Okay, you threw away all your notes how to get to the moon. So go figure. So Elon Musk is sporting this T-shirt to go to Mars, and he paired with Trump to help him win the election. And you know that probably deal being made. Now, yes, I did vote for Trump. I'm not anti-Trump, but I'm concerned about some of the people that he has that stay close to him. And I feel that he is setting himself up for disaster for several people that is around him. But either way, one washes the other. So he talked at rallies, him wanting to go to Mars. This was his dream for many, many years. So, opportunities are going to present themselves, and he's going to want to take that challenge and go up there. He recently had rescued a space station, International Space Station. These two people were stuck at the space station for 9 months. Now, 9 months is very symbolic. That represents birth. Now, there are only these two astronauts that were stuck up there for 9 months, were only supposed to be there for approximately a week. So, how were they able to survive if the trip is only prepared for a couple of days, but you wind up there for 9 months or even longer? Go figure. The body doesn't work properly after a certain amount of time consecutively up there without gravity on the body. Okay, so so either way, we're supposed to believe that they were rescued and that they're okay. Um, so Elon wants to go to Mars and set up a colony there. Who's going to make up that colony? How many people? The races of these people. And I guess because what's influencing in part my thinking is that yes, he's a white man from South Africa during the time of apartheid. So I wonder, I'm looking at my dog right now, he's like jumping in his sleep. He's like dreaming. So either way, um, what would this adventure be about? Why this type of risk? And when you say colonize something, you have a plan. You have people. You have equipment. You have to have food. All these things to sustain life. You have to build infrastructure. What are they going to live in? Are they going to live inside a ship? How are they going to master this? But brought me over to think about Columbus. Now, Columbus made a deal with Spain. Spain, the crown, the king and queen of Spain. And Spain is a coastal state in Western Europe. Columbus was an explorer. He traveled. He traveled to Asia, allegedly for spices. I wonder what he was really, you know, saying that you want to find spices, get spices, and then want to form a colony are so big. And it's a real risk taker. You're going to go to a place that you haven't been to before. Say you want to um, get a monopoly, monopoly really. It always takes time to even get one penny. You're going to do harvesting or whatever. Excuse me. It's going to take time. It's going to take time for a harvest. So a lot of things were at play at the time. Now, Columbus was from Genoa, a city-state that's now part of Italy. And he went to different people, and posed this idea to go across the Atlantic and to find a new route to get to Asia for spices, allegedly. Um, Eventually, there was a deal made. Columbus has a journal. Yeah. Now, when Columbus finally went on his journey, allegedly, initially, get a shortcut to Asia, I think India in particular. Um, he comes across um, some landmass and met up with people and saw things. He left some of his crew behind and instructed them to do things. And he took some of the indigenous people that were there on the ship with him. And on his ship log, like captains of ships, they keep a journal, a ship's journal. They write everything that happens to them of importance in the journal. It's a like keeping notes on your business. And in the ship's journal, now there are copies of the ship's journal at the New York Public Library. Yeah, and if you want to do research, um, the New York Public Library, the main one, the research library on 42nd Street on Fifth Avenue, that one, it's a big one. And you can go there and request to see his journals that are translated into English. Okay. And there in his ship's log talked about some of the indigenous people, how they were so eager to get on board the ship and were sleeping on the floor on his ship. They were so interested. And it reminded me of the things that has happened in Africa, sub-Saharan Africa. These indigenous people are very open to visitors, and Rwanda open to me. They're very nice people, the Rwandans. Okay, they're open. So it's a parallel with that. And Columbus says, journal. He said, if these people only knew what happened to them, if they only knew how naive they were. Also, meant in his ship's journal that whatever that is made, wealth that is made in we call the Americas, 10% will go to shit. Embarrassing. The groundskeeper. I'm in bed and the groundskeeper sees me. Yeah, he was waving. Oh my God, embarrassing. Let me turn it off, the light. Sorry about that. So he's probably, sorry about that. Yeah. Yeah, let me just go like that. Sorry about that. I don't want him to, I'm in bed. I want him to wave. Yeah. I didn't know you can see through the curtain. So yeah, okay. My turning off the light. You can see outside. Yeah, not clearly. And then I had this bright light on. So just turn it off. At least now I know, don't do that. I'm embarrassed. It's okay. It's okay. So anyway, so anyway, um, so what happened now? Okay, so you have Columbus. In his journals, he talks about 10% of anything that's made, 10% will go to him and all his descendants. Could you believe that, people? 10%. So yeah, do you ever wonder where our money is going? Now, a contract is a contract. And the king and queen of Spain at that time were under the Catholic Church. They were under the Catholic Church. So, do you ever wonder where our tax money is really going to? Do you ever wonder? Because a contract is a contract. And in the Americas, whether it's the Catholic Church or Protestant, the Catholic Church is in charge of the Protestant denomination. They still have to meet with the Pope. Oh, yes. The Pope, the Catholic Church, uh, there was a meeting a couple of years ago. It's representative of all the Christian denominations, and they go kiss the Pope's pinky ring, and bow to him, and they have discussions. In fact, I saw my pastor, my former pastor, there to talk to the Pope. I didn't know that my pastor at that time, like I had left the church many years prior to me seeing him on TV, being introduced to the Pope. He was representing, my former pastor was in charge of a collective of other churches under him. Did not know that about him. Yeah, I left in 2006, that church. It's a big church, mega church in Brooklyn. So, what do they really discuss? These meetings, worldwide meetings to talk to the Pope. It's like a conference. So, what's going on? Um, but fast forward now, regarding 10% that Columbus talked about. Do you think that Elon Musk, don't you think Elon Musk might have something up his sleeve? Okay, he's like, okay, so Columbus had the king and queen of Spain at that time, a very powerful navy system. Well, Portugal was even stronger, but Spain is bigger. Spain had a bigger system. Now, oh, wait a minute, let me get my dog. Wait a minute. Sorry about that. Yeah, sorry about that. I had a little doggy on the floor. I don't want him jumping off the bed. Yeah, so you hear the birds? Yeah, they sound beautiful. Okay, let me get back to the story. Yeah, this is very important, people. Very, very important. Yeah, I have the light. I see there's new people on the ring. I have the lights out. The groundskeeper, I had the light on. And I didn't know that the groundskeeper, he was able to see inside and he was waving at me. I said, oh, shoot. Yeah. So I turned out the light so you can see out, the window. I don't want him to see me in bed. The cool guy. But I don't want any guy seeing me in bed. I have covers on and everything. But still, he was, he was waving like he was going to walk past the window. I mean, the curtains are on and everything, but he can see through. And he was waving at me. I said, oh my God. I didn't wave back. He waved twice. Oh, well. Oh, wait. So either way, this is funny though. Okay. So anyway, there's parallels I see between Columbus and Elon Musk. Now, again, as I was saying, now Columbus had the king and queen of Spain who had the power to get financed and then to go to get a so-called shortcut to India or Asia. And then when he does arrive on the other side, thinking that it was, he knew it wasn't India. He knew it was in a different land. He had his, I mentioned, he had some of his men stay, and then he took some of the indigenous people on the ship. He sails back to Spain, and he showed the inhabitants of the Americas, what we call the Americas, to prove that he was a foreign land. So he knows that these people aren't Indians, okay, from India, but name stuck and they were called Indians, okay. It could have been just a language, a lingo, a wording that they call anybody who's brown and has long hair, okay. India, people in India in general, they're brown and they have long hair. They don't look anything alike, but either way. So these are Europeans, and they never saw this type of person before. And sometimes names stick. Okay? So anyway, um, Columbus made a second voyage, and in this voyage, it was an agreement that Columbus was to get 10% of everything, every wealth that is obtained in the Americas. And so look at Elon Musk. Elon Musk is pairing off with who else? Donald Trump. Donald Trump has influence just like the king and queen of Spain. He is a ruler, Trump, okay? He's a president, he's not a king, but he is the president of a very strong country, America. And Elon Musk is not from America, he's from South Africa. And he was born under the apartheid system. And then Columbus was not a Spaniard, but he was born in Genoa, a city in Italy. And he makes a deal with Spain. So see that? Elon is taking an opportunity because of circumstances. And what are the circumstances? Because Elon Musk got in trouble because he bought, what was that, Twitter? And he's on the poo-poo list for obtaining this large system called social media. Twitter is a very, very big social media platform that influences people. And as a result, people wanted to get Elon, want to destroy him. And so for protection, he paired up with Trump and made a deal with Trump. Let's make a deal. Well, part of the deal is, hey, I'll give you money to help you get into office. And then you're going to promise me something. What is that, what he promised? That's a secret. In part, he did say publicly last year that he wants to start a colony in Mars. Like Columbus wanted to form a colony in the Americas. See that? So Elon Musk had Twitter that exacerbated people wanting to get rid of him. And Columbus, people wanted to get rid of him through the Inquisition, the Spanish Inquisition. Remember, I think that's what it's called. When Spain was a Catholic country, and Spain was under Moorish rule. The Moors were from North Africa, and they were Muslim. And the Moors were in Europe, Southern Europe, for 800 years. 800 years. The Moors was in Europe for 800 years, longer than America has been in existence as the Americas. Okay, the Americas was uh, um, colonized 500 years, so it's not even near. 300 more years will it take to have the equivalent of 800 years. Okay, so that's a big influence. So again, you have a system during Columbus where Spain wanted to get rid of the Muslims and the Jews. The Muslim and the Jews controlled of Europe. And Spain said, I had enough. We're going to expel you. And that happened in 1492. 1492. What happened in 1492? Columbus leaves for America. You don't think that was set up? You don't think that that was part of the plan? These people work, these occultists, they work behind the scenes and they know things in advance. Or at least he took the opportunity. Things just don't happen overnight. This expulsion of Muslim and Jews, any non-Catholic, was expelled. But the largest groups were Islam and Judaism. So that's why they were singled out. They were larger, and they were in competition with the Catholic Church. So that was the politics that was happening at the time of Columbus' time as a traveler. So the politics, the excuse that had him go west and find the Americas, and then made a deal with Spain that percent of all the wealth that would be made in America will go to him and his family. So don't you think a contract is a contract? And again, Catholic Church is behind his, the king and queen of Spain, but the royalty is tied in with the Catholic Church. Okay, it's handsome. It's the one. They work together. So, Elon Musk, the parallels. What is the political environment that is presenting Elon Musk for Mars? He said he wanted to form a colony in Mars. Well, it's what's happening in America. The political climate, Elon is getting too powerful. He bought Twitter so he could influence public opinion. To influence public opinion, when you can control public opinion. See, religion is used in those days in Columbus time to control public opinion. But the church now has a different role now. They're not as public. They're there. But what is influencing public opinion is social media. Social media is the new religion. Social media influences, dating, meeting people, to date, to marry, make commerce, everything. It is extremely powerful. And Elon just acquired this Twitter, also called X. X marks the spot, and to influence the world. The system doesn't like it. And now what they're doing to Elon, they are vandalizing slash war. They're committing war against Elon. They are destroying his any if you own a Tesla, they are vandalizing the property of private owners of cars. Private owners. And they might be liberal like the rest of the people, right? But because they bought a Tesla some time ago. I have relatives that own a Tesla, and these are liberals. And what, are you going to attack them also? They bought a car. So they're vandalizing anyone who has a Tesla, his dealerships, they're boycotting it, and all this other stuff. This is war. This is another form of war being done. So he made a deal, Elon made a deal with President Trump, who's now President Trump. So it wasn't initially like him buying Twitter. It's when he started, what do you call it, auditing. Elon Musk was given the responsibility to audit federal agencies for waste. He was given the position to audit the federal agencies of financial waste. And that's when the poo-poo hit the fan and people boycotted strongly against Elon. So wasn't that his Mars interest? That didn't spark his Mars thing. It made him a target. So that's the political climate. So you had in Columbus time the expulsion of Muslims and Jews from Europe, and now with Elon to expel that or Doge, 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 to expel, to get rid of anybody associated with Doge. The new political climate to make war, to eject, to intimidate a new political rival. So you can think of Doge as like political rival of yesterday, which is Islam and Judaism, who are very powerful in southern Spain at that time. So history is repeating itself. History is repeating itself of politics and people. So if Elon gets his way and working behind the scenes to facilitate his venue to go form a colony in Mars, who are going to be the new pilgrims? People. You got to get this. You have to get this. History is repeating itself. They may call themselves by different names, different religions, different countries, etc., but it's the same politics. You have a building up of resentment. You have a build of resentment against Elon Musk, who was just an everyday, everybody liked Elon, right? He made Tesla. Everybody raved about him, about Tesla. Just like people were, were raving about Columbus and being like a savior and to expand the Catholicism slash religion slash people's motives, they're one and the same. So at some point, It's going to build up, and there's going to be an expulsion. There's going to be an expulsion, I perceive. If history is going to repeat itself, there's going to be an expulsion to Mars. Who are going to be the new pilgrims? Did you know that the pilgrims that you know about, people who, are from America, from the United States, we have this thing called the pilgrims. These were the initial successful first colony to what we call America, in what we call now Massachusetts. I don't know how many people there were. Also, maybe like 200 something people. Did you know that if you are a descendant of the pilgrims, did you know you get on a registry? Did you know that? There is a registry for every descendant from the Mayflower, the pilgrims. Don't you think, look at this. Elon is a white South African person. You don't think he he has a lot of kids? Why is he having a lot of kids? Now, nothing wrong having children. Please don't get me wrong. Children are a blessing from God, right? But don't you think that maybe a man of power like Elon, the richest man they say on the planet, you don't think like Queen Victoria? Didn't she have a lot of kids? What did Queen Victoria do? Well, Queen Victoria, I think she had like 15 children, 18 children. And the Queen Victoria is considered the mother of royalty of Europe because all her children were married into other royal households of Europe. So pretty much all the people, the uh, royal families of Europe are all related to that one lady, Queen Victoria. You have a lot of kids because you spread out your influence over your domains or future domains. Elon Musk has a lot of children. Do you think it's a possibility that some of his children will be used in his projects, like the pilgrims, and being used to go to Mars and set up colony? You don't think that they're going to be used as heads of states in this Mars ever that he talks about? You don't see the parallels? I see the parallels. So again, you have a system, a rivalry that's happening, and that really sparked when Doge was formed. Doge was the new intruder over Americans slash the so-called liberals, and they are fighting back. The opposition of Doge. And it looks like it's going to heat up, heat up, heat up. And then he's going to be expelled, like Columbus was expelled. Columbus was a Jew. He converted to Catholicism. Back in Columbus' day, living in Western Europe, because the Catholic Church controlled a big part of Western Europe. And if you resist, and if you did not convert to Catholicism, they would kill you. So he was forced to convert to Catholicism, but he was still a Jew. That is his heritage, Judaism. He's I guess you call it a Sephardic Jew. But his identity and all that, okay? You don't change what you are. You can change your label, but you don't change who you are. He made a deal. Columbus made a deal with the King and Queen of Spain. They financed his trip to what we call the Americas. He showed the King and Queen of Spain proof of foreign land. That's why he kidnapped those Indians, brought them with him, and he left some of his men behind to terrorize. Well, they terrorized those people. They terrorize who they call Indians. And it's in his ship's log. Just look for yourself. You don't have to believe anything I say. Go to the New York Public Library and get a copy of Christopher Columbus' ship's log. His ship's log or journals shares story, his account, and what he did with these people that they called Indians, and his contract that he made with Spain, that 10% of all the wealth that would be obtained in the Americas will go to him and his descendants. They will go to his descendants. So who are Elon's descendants? If this Doge crisis intensifies, you don't think he's going to leave? He already said he wants to form a colony in Mars. What's going to spark him to actually leave? Think of Trump as like the king and queen of Spain. He's a leader, and he could provide protection for Elon. Yeah. So even though Elon has the money, both have money, but Elon has, but he can use Trump like the king and queen of Spain to protect him politically. Okay. So I see a parallel with history repeating itself, that Elon may have some up his sleeve. He has his reasons why he wants to go to Mars, but the politics of the day will be the excuse to leave and to form this new colony. And who are going to be the new pilgrims in this endeavor? And how is he supposed to leave when he has to get through the Allen belt? It's a radiation belt and meteorites. How are you going to get through all that safe? Well, there's going to be a way. There is going to be a way. It's very interesting, people. So go figure. Go figure. Stop putting the dots together, and you're going to see how things are really history repeating itself. Yeah, people, keep your eyes open. Do no harm, because whatever was going to happen is going to happen. But just keep your eyes open, and you're going to see things that are going to happen, things going to manifest. You're going to have a trigger of some event or events, and it's going to spark a new pilgrimage, okay, to Mars. But you know, you cannot escape life. Just like the Americas were colonized, brutalized, history's going to repeat itself in Mars. You're going to think you're free, but you're not. You're going to think you're free, but you're not. You're going to have the mafia. You're going to have we call organized crime. You're going to have drugs. You're going to have human trafficking. History is just going to spread its filth. Okay. So let me know what you think. What do you think? Do you think there's a correlation between Elon Musk, Columbus, the king and queen of Spain of yesterday, and Donald Trump, the president of the United States of America? Let me know what you see. This is Spirit Journey signing off. Be safe, people. Take it easy and enjoy your day. See you. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.